We're back, and last time we were looking at the trying to match up our output to the solution file that's created from the CLI, and the CLI is called by pull. So I was looking here, and we have there's something passed here, like a file name, and I believe that's generated here. Create temp files, yeah, let's create temp files. It's generated here, and that generates the file names that will be saved. And we saw that earlier when I was on the other Ubuntu machine. So this creates file names, and it passes it as arguments to this thing that would normally run the CLI. And that would save the solution file. One thing I should probably do, I guess we could just look. I'd like to see what let me see something really quick. First, I just realized right now I probably need, yeah, probably need this line instead of this one, which I created that does nothing really. So I'll do that to bring that back in. And let me check something real quick. Okay. All right. So yeah, and then here where it says read sol MPS, the temp sol is a file name. Let me see, does it actually read for L and F break split in case the solution or L and F? So this is for line, I guess, right? Five is less than 2. Okay. So yeah, instead of opening a file, what I could do in here is just modify it to read into text. Same way, into different lines. But we'll come back to that. I'm not there yet. So where were we? Forgot where we were. Up here. So we're here. And yeah, I commented this out so it didn't delete those. I could actually bring that back in. Yeah, I could bring that back in because I do want to delete those files if it creates them. Well, it'll at least create this, right? If use MPS, write MPS. Wait, do I even need that? What is the MPS file used for again? I'm thinking I might not even need that. I don't want to get sidetracked what I was doing. Write MPS. Oh, what is this? So LP write MPS. File name. How far does this go? Yeah. Actually, why do I need this? Because all I really need are these things coming back or no? I don't know. I'll have to come back to that. I might need that for some reason. Anyways, I'm getting a little sidetracked again. So write MPS. Actually, it's one last thing. So write MPS. And then um think about this. So the way it works is MPS is written, it is passed into the command line. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Ah man, oh wait, I have those. I think I saved those. I was like, I need to save those, and I did. Tell me I did not delete those, please. Oh man, I think I deleted those. Really? Why though? Why would I delete those? I hate when I do that. I'm like, I don't need this anymore. Oh no, I didn't delete them. Ah, here we go. I actually wanted this. Nice. So I just wanted to look at so it has the MPS file, it has timeout labs, brain printing, all solution, and the solution file, right? Yes. Okay. Brain mode, elapsed, branch, printing options all, probably, and solution, something like that. Okay. Glad I saved those. Because now I know exactly what's in this command line. So yeah, it sends in the MPS file and the solution file. So what I need to do is take the solution. Yeah. So the JS call. Right. Okay, I got it. So this MPS file is written, and instead of writing it, I can actually pass in whatever's the MPS file, whatever's in there. I can pass it in here if I don't want to deal with the file system. I don't think it's a big deal, actually. Um, in fact, I might just work with the file system. But let's just assume for a second I'm not going to use the file system. So I can pass in here. It solves it. It gets the solution stuff back. And this read sol MPS, instead of passing this in, we just pass in whatever this gave us back. Yeah, and get this stuff back. So that's how I could do it without the file system. With the file system, pretty similar, except this will, uh, well, either, actually, Oh, sorry. So I would write the MPS, which I'm already doing. Instead of taking that out, I would keep that. This would read the MPS file from the system as it's already, I already have that set up actually. And then it would, what it returns, what it's printing out would be passed in here. Yeah. So same thing, I just, instead of passing something in here, I just leave it as is and it would read the file. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna probably just work with the files for now. It'll be a little bit easier, less code modification. I actually might just, if it works well, I'll just keep that solution. Okay, so next thing is this. So there's a couple things. Last time I was looking at, let me pull up these notes. So I was trying to match up what I got from site, the site I have set up, which is just, and I changed it a little bit. I'll get to that in a minute. So match up what I have in the site, which is it running that MPS file through the minimum CPP example. And this is what it's outputting right now. I want to get this to match up with this because this is the format I need. So, I figured that would be in the CBC repository. So in here, which I'm already in, I did some searching around. And the first thing I searched for was, I think, maybe write MPS. I don't remember. I think I searched for write MPS, and I was looking around in here, and actually I was looking at the folders too. I mean all the files. So if you hit Control left arrow on any of these, it collapses them. And then CBC solver. I think I was just clicking around and looking through each of these, and I noticed F open. So I haven't really done a lot of C coding or C++. I didn't even remember how to open files, but this made me think of, okay, if it's writing the solution file, it's going to start with an F open, right? So then the next thing I did was I wanted to take this F open and search for that. And that has 60 results. And again, I looked in CBC solver. And I'll come back to this, but I decided to search for file. But before I do that, I also just recently noticed this example here is outputting a .sol. So another thing I looked at was I wanted to look at anything with .sol because I didn't know because this program here, Pulp, is naming it .sol, but I didn't know if that was the same thing that it would be used by CBC. I mean, I think they are within the same organization, if that means anything, but yeah. So I looked for .sol, and then I found that one, that example, and then some other ones. I don't think I'm doing a GMPL, although maybe. I don't know what that is. I should probably know that. Actually, I'm gonna look that up. GMPL, CBC. The most of. I don't think so, based on reading this. That we're dealing with that. So probably not GMPL. Here MIP. we're not using that, I don't think. And then next, I don't know what next sol file stands for, but I'm pretty sure just solution file. So I think it is, that's pretty common to have a dot sol. And again, I'm not sure based on it's the fact that that one program used that. So back to F open. I found the next thing I was like, okay, let's search for this capital file. And is that what I did? I don't remember, but maybe not. But this is something I might want to come back to because this is an example that prints out a solution. I don't know. Um, that's interesting. This actually might be what I'm looking for, to be honest. And the reason I'm saying that is because it has four um things it's printing. One, two, three, four, I think. One, two, three. I don't know. One, two, three, four. And this is one, two, three, four. I seems to match up with the these numbers over here. And get column name. These seem like they could be column names. They start with a C and have a number. And then XI, I'm not sure what that is yet. Solution, and then objective. This might be what I'm looking for. Anyways, I'm going to come back to that. If that does not help me, the other thing I looked for was I just searched solution file. I clicked around, just read some of this, and I came across again, I think that print sol, which we saw before. Was it print sol or was it something else? Or maybe it was write sol, I don't remember. But and from there it says this will write a binary solution to the file set by sol file. So then I search for sol file. And I came like to this section and was it here? I don't remember for sure. Oh yeah. And I went up here and I say, okay, case. So when you have multiple case statements and then something after, it's for any of these cases, this stuff will happen. File name. I want to search one other thing. I had another thing on my notes. It doesn't really help. Okay. Back to, was it solution file or sol file? Sol file, right? Yeah. So I kept scrolling down, just looking for, okay, there's some stuff going on with some files here. And I was looking through. And I was looking for anything that like looked like it could be the format. So I was like, okay, this is two things. There's an if and else. I'm looking for like four things, right? So I kept going and eventually There's only 3. Eventually I got all the way down here. Where is that? Here. And I started to see something where I thought maybe this could be it. So it's a for loop. And it prints out one thing, which is like, seemed to be like an index. I wasn't sure. Because it's like something less than number of columns. It's like using I. So I was like, maybe this is it. And then the next part had a name. So name, right, name, and then 2 more, which are both numbers. And that one was in here. Then there's some if statements based on what else it's going to print. So far it's printing 1, 2 things. And fprintf, I figured since that takes that fp, which I found was like a file pointer, I guess. I figured this would print to a file. And I think I remember that from using it a while back. And that's 2 things. And then I noticed, okay, here's another thing. Based on some if statements, it looked like only one of these things would print, probably. And the same thing down here. Only one of these would actually print. So it's 4 things and then a new line. And that's the end of the for loop. So I thought this could be the section that actually prints out from the command line the solution file. I thought that this is it. So, and I still think it is it, but maybe not. But getting back to figuring this out. So one thing I did was, or the next thing I did was, where is it? Where is that? Did I close that? I think I closed it or I never had it open. Thought I did have it open. So next thing was, I had built previously the CBC test. So this is the WASM one, and this is the one that just built in, or not built in, that just runs in the command line in Linux. And so I thought that would be a good way to test rather than building it for WASM, deploying it, publishing it, all that stuff. So, and I did verify that the output is the same based on my test file so far from this and this. So, and the website like this, right? This is the same as you'll see that I'm outputting in the other one. So, decided to just work with this. Another thing I realized I was doing is I wasn't using like push and pop directory enough. So I kept like going back directories. So when I'm working with this, what I've been doing is, so I work with this, I change that minimum CPP, and then I go push directory, and then the other folder. I keep pop, push, and so forth, you know, and so on and so forth, back and forth. So push directory, CBC, let me just get that down. So it's in build. If you hit tab twice, it'll list what's available. Master, and then examples, and then, was that it? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And notice this MPS file is now in here. That was just to make it easier for me if I needed to change this file. I thought I'd just put it in the directory where I was working with it. And um, what I did to use that file is pretty simple. This is defined, I guess, somewhere else in another file. Um, and I just redefined it basically. And you'll see there's a warning when I try to build it. It says I'm redefining it, but I'm fine with that. So this is basically the same as the WASM version, but it has main instead because I don't care about the name. And another thing is there was a lot of logging that was happening in both of them. Um, and it said uncomment to reduce printout, and this was originally set at 1, which did reduce it a little bit, but I just did a Google search to how to mostly get rid of all of it, or basically get rid of all of it. And if you set it at 0, that will do that. So I did that. I did uncomment this out, and it didn't seem to, I couldn't tell if it did anything, so I just left it commented. And then this I left the same. One other thing too is I changed get call solution to best solution. The reason I did that, it's not a big deal, but if we go back to this user guide, let me get this, sure, no, best solution. We search through this, they talk about it. So best solution will contain the best solution so far. The OSI method get call solution may not. In this case, it's safer to use best solution. So I don't know. Maybe if this doesn't work, I'll go back to the other one. I'm gonna use that one for now. What is this? Maybe I didn't do this right. I don't know. Anyways, so I used that. One other thing I did was I added this num rows because I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna just, well, I'll show you what I was thinking. So is it here? Yeah, I was thinking it's printing maybe the rows instead of the columns. So this to me seems like it's the columns and this is the rows. And the reason I think that is because of this line. It says row names, it takes this, and then columns, it takes this. So I was thinking maybe it's printing the rows or something. I honestly don't even know what this thing's doing. Maybe someday I'll look into it more and maybe I'll have to figure this out. But for now, this is gonna be doing what I'm doing. So yeah, I tried printing the rows, but what I did was basically just print a subset of the columns because I'm getting the rows here, and then everything else is the same here, and I just printed this as a separator. And then here, if you look, taking the solution, and it's saying an index of I column, but that's the same as this. So this is actually just getting a column. I'm using a different index. That's all. So that didn't work. I just printed like some of the columns because I guess there's less rows than columns or something. I think too, if you look at this line, if f abs, which I think is some sort of absolute function, absolute value function, is greater than that, I think that is the same or similar as this, or or is it that? No, maybe not. I don't know. That's less than, the other one's greater than. Anyways, okay. So this is saying, oh, let me double check. This is like a large number, right? Pretty sure it's a large number. What? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay, that's a really large number. One. Oh, it's infinity. Okay, I think it's infinity. Anyways, it's just some huge number. Um, and then this one is a very small number. and saying if it's greater than that, then whatever. I don't know the reasoning behind some of this. Anyways, back to what I was doing. Over illustrates the dependency of CVC. Okay, first thing I wanted to try was so this looks like a lot to figure out what's going on here, but I think this might end up being what I have to do. But before I do that, let's try this, something similar to this. Of best cost. Let's ignore that one. Ignore that one. We already have this. Interesting. So get column solution, we're already doing that. That's our solution variable. So let's try adding this in there. I'm actually going to pull this to the side and just type it on the main screen. So let's add that in there. That is const double objective. I think that's what that is. Solver. It's model, in our case, model dot solver get objective coefficients coefficients. And then there's a loop. I'm actually going to comment out both of these loops. These other ones, they're not helping right now. Um, yeah, I'm going to use this. I think, I don't know. So what's that loop down there is actually doing the same thing this is doing, but it's a little bit cleaner, I think, or to me it looks easier to read. So I'm going to use the loop they have in here in this other file for int I equals 0, and that has some condition plus plus I. Okay. Another reason I want to copy it is to make sure it's working how it's supposed to. I is less than solver get num calls. So ours would be model.solver. So it's the same as up here. Actually, that's stupid. I'm not going to do this. What am I doing? I'd rather just define it ahead of time as I'm doing. So this will just be num number. Okay. We will use the plus plus I instead of I plus plus. I don't think it really matters. Um, okay. And then they're saying if f absolute value is xi. Yeah, they're doing the same thing, so we'll do double value. Yeah, it's the exact same code, right? Is less than. No, they're saying greater than. A a Advic Mag. Yeah, yeah. How you doing? The Pyodide part is here. Let me just go over the Pyodide part actually. Right now I'm working on the C++ thing that I'm trying to port over the Pyodide. Where is it? Python JS call? I don't remember where I put that. So I'm not, I'm working on another thing that's, I need to get to work in the Pyodide part. But, oh, here it is. So I have a main function that gets called. It loads Pyodide, and then it fetches. I don't know if this is a great way to do this, but I'm fetching this main.py just so it's at least easier to work with right now, rather than just putting a template string in Python in there. And then I'm running some async Python, which is this. And the idea is it's going to um, it's kind of weird, but it calls out to a JavaScript function. The JavaScript function, um, there's just some testing. All this is really testing code right now. I'm just trying to get stuff to work. The JavaScript function sends a message to a worker, and I have this weird promise thing that I don't even know is a good way to do it, but and then it's like waiting for that. It's waiting for this promise to resolve, and it only resolves when the worker sends a message back um, with the message done. And what the worker does is the worker does is what does it do? Well, right now it doesn't do anything. It waits 2.5 seconds and then it's done. That was testing. But that's not the Pyodide part. What am I talking about? So that is my Pyodide test for testing to call JavaScript, but the actual Pyodide that I'm using, that I'm interested in, is this pulp library. And the pulp library, let's see if I can find this. So I load Pyodide, and then I am loading some packages. PyTZ, which is required by pulp, I think. Hey, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. PyTZ, which is required by pulp, and pulp I actually have to modify to get it to do what I want. So I'm modifying pulp, rebuilding it into a wheel, and then I'm putting that wheel in this lib folder locally here in where the web app is going to be served. And I'm loading the wheel that's a modified version of Pulp, and I'm loading the program ultimately that I want to get working, which is a PyDFS lineup optimizer, which uses Pulp. I want to have it all running in the browser basically. So that's the main point. And then it will follow that same pattern that I showed you in that testing code eventually. And then yeah, so that's the Pyodide part. And then the other part with WebAssembly, not Pyodide, is I'm trying to get the solver that Pulp uses to solve linear programming problems, which this is a linear programming problem, creates a linear programming problem that needs to be solved, and then this solves it. And that program is in C, and I have got that working in the browser in a basic example, but I need it working how I want. So that's where I'm at right now. Um, so, and I barely know C or what's going on with C. So it's a little bit of a struggle, but it's fun because I'm learning some stuff. So right now I'm looking at the CBC, and basically what pulp does is it calls out to a CLI, a command line program, um, to solve, and I need to bypass that because I need mine to all work within WASM. So um, I'm trying to recreate what the command line does in terms of the output file that it creates. This is the main thing I'm trying to do. So I'm just testing different stuff I'm seeing. I'm working with this example. Basically, I need this output. Where is this output? I need this type of output. If I get this output, I know I'm good, probably. And right now I'm getting this output, which is not even close. And I don't know much about CVC. I don't know much about linear programming, so I'm kind of like, I might actually have to learn a little bit more about it to get this to work, but I'm trying to like kind of just search through things, find things that match up, match patterns, and see if I could figure it out that way. Because the main goal is I really want to build this tool that's used. It's a Python command line tool. I want to build an interface around it in a web app. This is my main goal. So this thing, it's a command line tool, and I want to build a web app that is an interface for this tool and have it work. I don't want it to call out to a server. I want it to all work in the user's browser. That's the main goal. So that's why I'm using Pyodide and all that stuff. And also just, I don't know, aside from the fact I want to get it working, I think it's a good opportunity to learn a little bit more Python and some other technologies I'm not as familiar with. So it's been pretty cool, been pretty fun. All right, so last thing I was looking at was trying to try this example basically to kind of do some of the stuff that it's doing. I'm right here. So I'm going to put this on the other screen. Yeah, C-Lang needs a lot of patience. Yeah, it's I really like it. I don't know that much about it. Yeah, I like it. I like C especially. C++, I don't know much about either, but I like C for sure. Let's see. This program was written in C++, so it's I don't know. Let's see, where was I at? But what are you working on? Edvik, Mag? What kind of stuff are you working on? If you're doing programming or anything you're doing actually. Um, let's see. So back to this. So I'm just gonna copy. Where am I? Oh yeah, so I got this part and then value. So it's gonna look the same. Solution I instead of I column. And then if F absolute, I want to see what that is. I know it has, I'm sure it has to do with absolute value, but why the F? Values, values, absolute value. I guess just like function absolute value. That's why it's F. Wait, F absolute versus abs. Difference is that math always return a floating point, even if the argument is an integer. Oh, okay, floating point. That's what F is. Okay. Cool. All right, so F absolute, X, X, no, it's solution, not solution. It's gonna be value, and then less than 1e minus 6. Um, continue, and then printf. Oh man, if this thing works, that'd be crazy. Print. Oh no, I just want to print, not printf. Printf. F. I'm currently working on basic Python stuff. It's kind of new to programming. Just found out that there are Twitch channels for development. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I really like Python. Um, like my main background is in JavaScript. I've been I've done some Python stuff and I'm getting more into it. So I've been doing like machine learning and stuff like that. And there's a lot of tools for machine learning in Python. So been getting into it and I really enjoy it. Yeah, there's a ton of channels for Twitch. Some I could recommend. I don't know if you've seen them. Especially if you're new to programming and you like have questions, is Strager, Strager. He streams and has his title is usually code help and advice. So if you're like struggling, it's a good guy to ask a question. I mean, I probably wouldn't ask him questions constantly, but you know. And then I don't know, a lot of the streamers are just stream some interesting stuff. There's Chrono, I forget the whole name. Chrono, he streams machine learning. Is it machine learning? Yeah, he does ML stuff and Python stuff, if you're into that stuff. New to programming? Yeah, it's awesome, dude. Good to hear. If you have any questions too, let me know. I have been programming for a while, but I'm like still I wouldn't consider myself an expert or anything like that, but I could probably help out a little bit here and there if you have any questions. Um, let's see. So F%. What kind of stuff in particular programming are you interested in? Do you like web development? You're interested in making games? Um, do you like machine learning or anything like that? Just building tools in general, like what kind of stuff interests you? And why did you get into programming? Hmm. So this is gonna be model, solver, no, model, not solver, solver, get all name, I, C string, and this will be leads X. What is my X? Solution, I, wait, what's solution I? That's just value, right? Yeah, value, and then, um, objective I. Well, we'll call this objective actually. And then I think it's objective. I don't know. Double uh objective equals uh obj I. Okay. And I always forget you gotta have the semicolon. You actually have to have it. It's not optional. Alright, so F for F. Mostly web development and ML. I'm still learning the ML part. Will take me some time. Yeah, ML is at least for me, like the toughest part of ML is like you can definitely do a lot of cool stuff with it right away, or like without knowing a lot of math and statistics. But I think to get really good at creating good models, you need to know statistics pretty well. And I don't know it that well, so it's something I need to learn at some point. But yeah, the tools, like I just got into it like machine learning like last year or it was this year. I think it was this year. And like the tools are so nice. Like I think before, like if I had started a while back, like they didn't have all the nice tools they have now. It would have been, it wouldn't have been as easy, but I do wish I had started earlier on it, to be honest, because I'm basically don't know what I'm doing yet, but it's fun. I like it. It's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like pure like problem solving to me. It's like you if you're trying to solve something, you're like thinking, why is this thing a certain way and what features is causing this thing? I'm just talking about like predicting things. Um, so one of the things I'm interested in is like predicting, trying to predict, and that's why I'm building this thing. So I'm interested in it. Trying to predict fantasy points for sports. And you can build machine learning models to do that. Obviously, nothing's ever gonna get it super accurate, but you can try to come close and like figuring out like what things is actually causing, or not what things can I use, what features can I use to actually get closer to an accurate prediction, and just keep thinking about that. It's like really, really fun process. Um, And one thing too, I don't know if it interests you along that, if you maybe you've heard of it. Nick Wan actually is streams some of this. It's another good machine learning guy, and he's actually he works for a sports team, I think. But Big Data Bull, one thing that really I thought was awesome is this, and I'm gonna do this. I'm definitely gonna do a stream, maybe not a stream, but probably. I want to like analyze routes. So this video, this guy is he's analyzing routes with a neural network. Um, I don't want to do that. I don't know if I'm going to visualize them like this, but I'm at least going to use clustering and cluster routes into clusters, and hopefully that will help my predictions. I don't know. Uh, yeah, Moneyball, exactly. Let's see. So let's see, does this work? This might just work. I don't like this on the next line. Let's start on the same line. Okay. All right, let's save that. We need to pop. No. We need to push directory to the other directory, which I have no idea where that is. Ah, that's not gonna help. So let's do push directory to CBC test build, and then CBC, and then master, and then examples. Okay, cool. And then we want to do make driver equals minimum. What? I think these need to go together. Dang, what is that? Oh, I passed it a file. Okay, so model.solver. Did you forget that? What did I do wrong there? So let's look at this line where I'm talking about the objective. This I need to remove that. And this is the same issue. So I need to look at that. Okay. So line 43 and 49. All right, let's do a pop directory and then minimum. Okay. So down here, let's remove this. And then, oh, what's the problem? Oh, right. I did forget that. They're right. Nice. Hopefully that's all I need. Okay. I should actually pull that out. I'm not sure. Maybe I need to keep it this way. CBC model clone solver, so we need to get a current copy. So I don't know what exactly that means, so I'm just gonna leave the code the way it is. But what I was thinking was, it's fine. Let's just leave it like that. Alright, so let's try that again. Go back to that directory and then build it. Make driver equals minimum. Get call name. What's the problem? Ah, I spelled it wrong. Okay. Is that right? I did spell it wrong. That's true. Okay, nano minimum. So get call name. So I just need a capital N. And navigating by word or whatever does not work in this terminal for some reason. So I have to slowly go through everything. Pop directory. Okay, push directory. Okay, so make driver equals minimum. It's gonna work this time. There it is. Nice. All right, let's see what we get out of this. Oh, this might be it. It has way too many columns though. Wow. What the heck? That looks right though. So it has the number, the name, segmentation fault, and these two numbers. It does look right. Okay. So nice, that's good. So maybe all I need to do is use the actual um this here. So I want greater than 1.0. Actually, was that the same thing? I don't know. Let's just try this. E to the -7. I'm not going to worry about the is integer. Or should I? Mm, let's just try this. So do that. The formatting's a little bit weird. That's good. Okay. I doubt that's going to help, but you never know. Okay. So, okay. And then make driver. Okay. Okay, it's still printing out all the columns, so why does it do that actually? I'm sure this is what I need though. I'm sure of it. It's so close. So close to what I'm trying to do. It's a little bit different though, because it says X. Hmm. All right. Well, unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to just implement all the necessary pieces from this. Let me see if this kind of matches up though. So the first line is Seems to be the column number. Okay. Second one is the name. Get column name. Okay. Third is value increase. What is that? Let's see. Yeah. Here's another thing too, like this print mode. You know what? I need the row names too. Because I wonder if this X is a row name? Maybe. Maybe. Um, not sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is what I need to implement. Dang, that is gonna be rough. Because the thing is, like, I don't need all of it, I'm sure. At least I don't think so. If I need all of it, I can just copy it in there. I think there's a lot of stuff that wouldn't even work if I copied it in there, basically. Hmm. I'm not a fan of how this is laid out. Has all these if defs. Maybe that's for a good reason, but it makes it very hard to read through, at least for me. Make fancy later on. Let's see. Uh, Just thinking as I'm scrolling through here, really. Not even looking at it. Um, so value increase. So yeah, I basically just need to look up from here and see. One thing I could do, I really don't want to do it though. It's not a big deal, but I could add some logging in here. But to do that, I'd have to rebuild the whole thing, and that takes like, just don't want to do that right now. But that would definitely help, because then the command line, assuming it's running this, the command line tool, I could see like what paths it's taking. Is there another way to do that? It's faster, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, it's 2 a.m. It's getting late. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep going or stop. Might keep going for a minute. We'll see. So value increase, value decrease. Okay. There's nothing like that here. Increase, increase, decrease. No. Okay. You know what? It might have to do with this. Solution found. Improved post. If best cost is greater than, maybe I need something like this to stop it. Because maybe it actually would get to those X's if it didn't stop. because it's doing a segmentation fault. Yeah. Segmentation fault. I'm guessing I just ran out of memory, right? I don't know. Makes sense to me. It's like, 'cause it's like you printed all those lines. I'm just guessing it ran out of memory. And then tried to access some memory that wasn't available. Like part of the operating system or something. I don't know. Okay. So, yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna stop for now and work on again just getting this to work. And I'll probably do it in little pieces. That way I can like verify it's actually doing the right thing and just see what's going on. The one thing I was thinking though is like, so it's printing this. What is causing it to stop at a certain point? What's causing it to stop? I is less than number. Maybe I just need to know what number is, right? Number is 0 when LP is not optimal. Interesting. Actually, I think that's the next thing I'll do is I'll look at number, try to figure out how that's working. And then if I can figure that out, I'll keep trying just what I had before. And maybe it will stop when it needs to stop. Okay. All right, well, I think I'm gonna stop for now. Getting a little tired. Might do a little bit off stream and I'll go over it the beginning of next stream. But yeah, thanks everybody who was watching and yeah, have a good night and I'll see you all next time.